Well, good day, my friends. We are in Weatherford, Texas today, the home of Mary Martin and her son, Larry Hagman. Daze with Jordan the Lion and you all. It begins right now. First thing I noticed as I drove in was this wonderful statue of Larry Hagman. I think they have one of his mother here in town too, we'll find. Known for being J.R. Ewing on Dallas, Major Anthony Nelson on I Dream of Jeannie. Pretty good likeness. He's a local. JR was kind of the role of a lifetime, and he knew it. He was out there a lot. Any incarnation they ever did of the show, he was always involved until he died. He always had a motto of, don't worry, be happy, and feel good. And that's at the base of this statue. Let's go see what they have inside the museum. Oh, nice touch. I just noticed his wristwatch. And I noticed if you look at the base, Larry himself signed it in 2012. That's his signature right there. I'm excited to see what they have inside, knowing that both Mary Martin and Larry Hagman both went to school here. They could have some pretty cool stuff. Looks like over here they have their own wing. Kind of a weird story, kind of a blessing in disguise, I guess. Mary Martin got married very young to an attorney. Had Larry, very young age, and the marriage didn't work out, so he went and lived with her mother while she started her career. Rainbow Room, 1939. She got her first break on Broadway in Leave It to Me. She wowed the audience with her rendition of My Heart Belongs to Daddy. This photo that we were looking at has a Western Union telegram attached to it that says it was talking about the opening of her play One Touch of Venus that sold out in 3 weeks. Nice. And look, original costumes, original clothing. She actually helped get Larry his start. Even though he went and lived with his grandmother in Hollywood, when the grandmother passed away, he joined Mary and ended up in the stage production of South Pacific for 5 years with her. Very nice. Not often you get to see Mary Martin stuff. Of course, she was the most well-known Peter Pan as well, and she even said that was her favorite role. The Distinguished Texan Award. Here's another Mary Martin award. Her and Larry weren't very close for a long time. It wasn't until she was much older. He said he didn't really think of her like a mother as much as like a really good friend. Kennedy Award for the Performing Arts. That's a key to this city, given to Mary Martin's daughter Helen. Dedication of the Peter Pan statue in Cherry Park. So we'll have to see that as well. And that was her mother's 1890 violin, Mary Martin's mother. And here's a record. Get Out Those Old Records is what it's called. And it was Mary Martin with her son Larry, and that's literally what it says on the label. If you look at the performer. And that is a tambourine from the Mary Martin School of Dance that was founded. That was actually one of the reasons that she left. You can see it's called Mary Hagman Dancers. Apparently a religious group didn't like her dance school and burned it down. Here's a Weatherford, Texas belt buckle awarded to Mary Martin in 1983. Limited edition number 1. This looks like this is her sailor suit from Regards to Broadway, because they have a kind of a poster on the wall that's showing the paper dolls that were offered from this production of her. So if you take a look, so here's the life of Mary Martin, stating that she was born here in Weatherford in 1913 and then had her first public performance when she sang When Apples Grow on the Lilac Tree at the Weatherford Fireman's Ball. And here it's talking about her refining her talents. And in 1930, she graduated from high school, married Benjamin Hagman, and was pregnant. Son Larry was born September 21st, 1931. Literally right after she was out of school. Soon after her son's birth, Mary opened the first Hagman School of Dance. Nice. Look at all the posters from her career. Playbill from South Pacific. Here she is visiting soldiers during the war. And then she was also known for the television version of Annie Get Your Gun, 1957. That's her from that. Here she is in her penthouse in New York City, entertaining the troops in Vietnam. This is great. Here's a photo of Mary visiting Weatherford 1974 for the groundbreaking of the Weatherford Public Library. There's a statue of Mary Martin as Peter Pan now sits in front of that library. Here she is with her son Larry. Larry had his ashes scattered after he passed away at the South Fork Ranch where they filmed Dallas. And I've been there before, so I'm going to go ahead and insert in this video where his ashes were scattered in case you want to go visit him. So here she is. Her later days, she passed away in 1990 of colorectal cancer. And she's buried in the Greenwood Cemetery here in town, so we'll go see her. Okay, they have more of her costumes and things. It looks like maybe she also wore the sailor suit in South Pacific. And the Regards from Broadway was the paper doll collection. There's a Mary Martin South Pacific doll with her name on it. The sheet music is over here. And then her red sweaters. They have a photo of her wearing the red sweaters as well. Beautiful picture of her at home. Huh, apparently she was very into needlepoint. Would make those pillows. And that looks like one of the sweaters. They have a photo of it. She loved doing this and learning this. Gave her something to do while she was on sets or on stage waiting to go on. Over here they have her grand piano. That is very cool. Given to Mary by her father before she went to Hollywood. Remained in the home on Oak Street when Mary's mother went to California after Mr. Martin passed away. So when we go over to that house that we're gonna see, this would have been there. Wow, and that giant piece was her needlepoint. Wow, that's a big one. Mary Martin Hagman. That giant needlepoint that we saw, look beneath her. That was a giant rug that she made. Says that was her first project, 5.5 by 7 foot rug. Large undertaking that she finished after 2 years. Mary never hung the rug on the wall. It was placed in her front entryway and later in her living area. Huh, very cool. There's a photo of it in front of the fireplace. Here's a photo of her working on it. That's an even cooler story. Here's some more of the needlepoint. Making a book cover, a purse, and even a hat. Now we're getting to Larry's stuff. This is the oil painting of Larry Hagman, J.R. Ewing. Maybe the most famous saying of the 80s, who shot J.R.? The dastardly J.R. Says he made his theater debut here in town at Weatherford High School. So he did live here and go to school here part of the time. One of his shotguns. It's commissioned by Larry, it says. It was a Dallas themed gun. He commissioned it in 1987 to commemorate his time on the show. He wanted something both beautiful and functional. Nice. And there's an autographed "Hello, Darlin'." Looks like the cover of his book. Some JR beer signed by Larry. And one of his cowboy boots, which he loved that part. So it was very challenging at first, but then he really just fell in love with it and always wanted to be a cowboy anyway. So let's go find this Mary Martin statue. Here we are at the Weatherford Public Library, and right over here is the statue that we came to see. What an honor. She said in her book that she kind of at one point blamed her mom for not stopping her from getting married, but in the end, she said, nope, it was my decision and everything worked out the way it was supposed to. She had Larry because of it, so. Wonderful Peter Pan statue, Mary Martin. Very nice. It says, Peter Pan, a tribute to the genius of Weatherford's Mary Martin, who brought a myth to life for America's millions. So here's the house. It's actually known in town as the Davis Martin House because it was built originally for Will Davis, a banker here in town in 1918 with American and Italian influence, 13-inch thick walls, and it was purchased by Preston Martin, Mary Martin's father, in 1924. So this was her childhood home as well as Larry's childhood home. And as we saw in the museum, that when her father died, they moved. Beautiful house. It's also said that Mary had a second floor bedroom and used to have like a flower planter outside, and she used to hide her diary in there. Beautiful house. Birthplace of Broadway star Mary Martin and Larry Hagman. So now I'm going to take us over to see Mary's grave, but on the way I'm going to show you, insert, a trip to the South Fork Ranch to show you where Larry Hagman's ashes were scattered. And of course they said since this was actually Miss Ellie's house, it wasn't Jock's house, it was her house, this was her yellow and white awning, so they've kept those. So now we're walking you guys over to where their little makeshift graveyard is. They've got tombstones for a couple of the cast members. Oh, look at that. That's rad. J.R. Ewing, the only deal he ever lost. Eleanor Southworth Ewing Farlow. Of course she got remarried. And there's Jock Ewing. Here we are. Little Weatherford Cemetery. Alright, if you come to the cemetery And you type in Mary Martin gravesite on Google, it will bring you pretty close. This is the family cemetery. You can see her father, Preston Martin. And over here you can see Juanita Presley Martin, her mother. And right here, Richard Halliday, husband of Mary Martin Halliday. There she is, whose heart belongs to him forever. How sweet. Started taking voice lessons at the age of 12. Was married by the age of 17. A lot of people's lives would be dramatically affected, and she had to sadly make that sacrifice of being at home with her son every day or having help from her parents and trying to have a career. And because of that, both her and her son both had big careers. So like I said in the museum, he didn't really look at her like a mother per se, as much as just like a really great friend. Rest in peace, Mary Martin. Thank you all for watching today from Weatherford, Texas. Hope you enjoyed this vlog. I'll see you next time. Rest in peace, Mary Martin and Larry Hagman. Goodbye.